All right, kids, this is a weird time, and what we're going to have to do during this time is I'll be sending you videos, all right, of the things we're going to teach. Today I want to start by reviewing the stuff that you already learned, because I've assigned you some things to do in IXL, starting with adding and subtracting fractions with a common denominator, then adding and subtracting mixed numerals with a common denominator, and then adding fractions and mixed numerals without a common denominator, and finally subtracting mixed numerals without a common denominator. These are actually all things that I've taught you in class last week, so you should already know how to do them. But if you don't know or you don't remember how to do them, I just want to go through it real quickly. First of all, to add fractions with a common denominator, what you have to do is add the numerators and keep the denominators the same. But remember, you have to make sure your answer is proper and simplified. And again, in my class, if it's not proper, it's wrong, and if it's not simplified, it's wrong. So you have to make sure all answers are proper and simplified. This is the easiest situation, and as long as you add correctly and make sure it's proper and simplified, it's very easy to get right. So I could have something like 5/8 plus 5/8. And again, you would add the numerators. 5 plus 5 is 10, and you keep the denominator the same. That would be 8. And again, excuse me, what you could now do is realize this is improper because the top is bigger than the bottom. So divide by the bottom into the top goes 1 time, remainder 2, and you write your remainder as a fraction, and you get 1 2/4. However, that's wrong, because if you notice, 2/4 can be simplified. What goes in both 2 and 4? 2 does. 2 goes once, 2 goes twice, and the real answer is 1 1/2. And again, that's the easiest form when you have a common denominator. By the way, if you had mixed numerals involved, if, say, for example, this was 3 5/8 and 1 5/8, then the only difference is you would add not just the numerators, keep the denominator the same, you would also add the whole numbers, and you would get 4. However, when you're finished, your answer is not going to be 4 1/2, because you have the 4 and you have the 1. So you have to make sure you add the 1 to the 4, which now changed the final answer to 5 1/2. So again, adding mixed numerals or adding fractions with a common denominator is very, very simple. And by the way, that's 2 of the excuse me, things that I assigned to you on IXL that you have to complete. And when you complete them, you can complete them to an 80% accuracy, a 90%, or 100%. I would hope you would work for 100%, because unlike Alex, you're not graded on how much time you spend on IXL. You're graded on your proficiency that you achieve. So you should always be aiming for 100% efficiency. And this is something you could definitely get 100% efficiency with. By the way, the next thing would be how to subtract fractions. And again, to subtract fractions is exactly the same, except you subtract the numerators and keep the denominator the same. So again, if you were to look at this and you wanted to see it, you could have something like 7/9 minus 5/9. Okay, let's make that 4/9. Okay, and now when you subtract the numerators, you get 3, and you keep the denominator the same. So 7/9 minus 3/9 equals 4/9 equals 3/9. However, that's wrong. They go, well, it's proper, the top is bigger than the bottom, is smaller than the bottom, and usually when you subtract it will be proper, though you should always check it. But what's wrong with it is the fact that it's not simplified. What goes into both 3 and 9? 3 does. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times, and your answer becomes 1/3. And by the way, don't just check 2 to make sure something's proper and simplified. Check 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. And again, the rule is very easy. You throw in mixed numerals, 4 and 7/9 minus 2 and 4/9, and then you can subtract 4 minus 2 is 2. So now your answer would not be 1/3, it would be 2 and 1/3. So again, adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numerals when they have the same denominator is very easy, okay? And again, you are assigned 4 IXL assignments that you have to master. That's just on those easy things. And I would hope you would go in, and I hope I'll find that you get 100% on all 4 of those, definitely by the end of this week. And again, I know that you most probably have other things you want to do with this time off, but one of the things you should do is keep doing your schoolwork. And in math, we're basically going to concentrate on 2 things, on watching the videos of how to do things and on IXL. There will be times that I will send you quizzes or tests, okay, and I definitely will send you written notes from time to time. But again, for what we're doing right now, this is stuff we already covered, so you should be able to do it. This is just a review of what you should do. So you know what? Instead of just saying adding, subtracting fractions, it should say review of how to add and subtract fractions.